Hi everybody, welcome back. Today I'm joined by John Whitberg and this is part one of our Sacred Sites series. John, how are you?
I'm doing. I'm doing.
Doing good, I hope.
More or less.
Okay, I'm just going to share my screen. Let me know when you can see it.
You're watching John Whitberg on Basis TV. You can find his videos on YouTube, Substack, and the Internet Archive.
So my laptop is a bit slow, so I apologize. My camera goes off occasionally. Hopefully you can see that in a minute.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it fine.
Can you? Because my screen hasn't updated at all. Okay, so I've got a selection of sites that we discussed, and they're in no particular order. I'm just waiting for my side to update. And come on, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so you can see the overall map.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Great. I'm very excited about this. Loads of people are excited about this, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, so the first one I've got on here is Morocco, the Atlas Mountains. What would you like to tell us about it?
appropriate that you happen to put that one first. That somewhere in there is the lab where this species was first made. Uh, yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Do you want to
Yeah.
go into more detail about that? By
Yeah, go ahead.
who made us?
The Anunnaki, also known as the Tall Whites.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, by combining their DNA with that of the uh Homo erectus who already lived here.
So is this deep underground military base that's there? Do you think it's still there?
Possibly. I mean, I'm sure that the ancient stuff has all long been removed, but there, I don't know if there's a dumb there now.
Mhm.
To be honest.
Okay. I really want to go there. I've been more drawn to Libya, to be honest, because I work
Hmm.
with Libyan desert glass, which is like a crystal, like a meteorite type one.
Well, there's open slave markets there, so be careful
Okay.
in Libya. Yeah, Libya is a really dangerous country right now.
Yeah. Do you know anything
Yeah.
about Algiers, about Algeria? Because there's ruins there that are the same as the ruins in Rome, I believe. I know Indigo Angel did a show on it a couple of years ago. She went out there. Do you know anything about Algeria while we're in that area?
No, I know that it's mentioned in a Montauk song. Um, that's it. I don't have memories of being there.
Okay, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Um, so I consider you to be a subject matter expert on these things. Do you want to tell people how you are a subject matter expert? You probably don't think you are, but how do you know about all these
And
sites?
because of I have talents that the military finds useful for uh secret projects, and I'm not a fan of NDAs.
Okay. What about
That
your
there
mentor, who's an archaeologist?
he would not have been to this place,
Okay.
probably. Yeah. He would not have been anywhere on Earth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jared would not have been anywhere on Earth.
Interesting. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Do you want me to go to the next one?
Sure, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's just a deeper look.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, we've got South Africa. So I'm really drawn to South Africa. I know I've been in the Kruger Mercenary Corps because I met somebody at Basis Conference in December and started to get memories about being with that person. But I'm really drawn to this the central circle that I've highlighted there because I'm pretty sure there's an underground base there. Um,
Okay.
but you were mentioning
I don't,
Cape Town, and you did talk to me about Kruger National Park, so I started to drill into that as well. So, what do you know about South Africa?
Okay. Well, South Africa is or was somewhat of a Nazi hub. Yep, they didn't just go to Argentina. They also went to South Africa and to several Arab countries. Um, a lot of people don't know that. And but Kruger Mercenary Company was founded by Walter Kruger, who was, if it's the same Walter Kruger who we have historical record of, which is kind of a big if, because it's BSSP, they're very capable of burying records. But if it is, and if the history about it that I was taught in the SSP is correct, then it was founded by Nazi General Walter Kruger and then taken over by his uh, distant cousin in South Africa, Gabriel Stephanus Kruger. Not his son. A lot of people think that it was his son. He wasn't. He was his distant cousin. Um, in South Africa, and if you read the thing there, Kruger Mercenaries LLC, which is, I'll go into what that is in a minute to remind me of that. You can see the list there of places: Ganymede, Moon of Jupiter, London,
Yeah.
Cape Town, Sea of Serenity, which is a crater on Luna, Eris, which is a body in the Kuiper Belt, and Neu Berlin, which is in Alpha Centauri. Um, where was I? Oh
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
and,
Could you just go back
and
to Eris?
yeah. What
I've
about
got
it?
an altar that's called Eris, so I wondered if it was, what was I hearing? Was I hearing the name of the altar, or was I hearing a place? And that came through.
Could go either way. It is also a name. Uh,
Okay, I need to look back into that, I think. That's interesting.
yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
That's where they actually, the Kruger Mercenary Company, what they do is they create cybernetic parts to attach to their assets who are uh and then send them out into the field to for hire. Um and Eris is where they actually manufacture all this stuff. And I don't mean like nanotechnology. I mean like Barrett from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
If people don't know what that is, that character, he in the game he lost his arm and had it replaced with a Gatling gun. That's the kind of thing they do. They're not subtle.
So, why do you think that they'd be involved in cloning programs then? Because I know that um, we were told that we were taken from the Monarch and the Umbrella programs and put into MURG, the refugee group,
Yeah,
and then because there was some dangerous situation that we'd agreed to a cloning contract and became clone templates. And then there's millions of clones of me and Drago all over the galaxy. So why would Kruger be doing that? Does that make sense for them?
sure. I mean, it's always nice to have more bodies without having to go get actual new people.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think that's what it is. It's convenience and just lower cost more than anything.
Yeah. Convenient clones.
Mm.
Not good.
And I mentioned Kruger National Park because I have a memory of driving across an African plain somewhere, and it does sort of look like Kruger National Park. And
Mm.
and driving to a base, or driving up to what looks like a little power station there, but there's actually a base under it.
So I was really
Uh,
drawn to this section, which is just kind of west of the national park. And when I drilled down into it, it's a copper mine. So, and there's another base that I recently connected to the Russian one that I've got on here later, which is also about mining. So what would copper be used for, that Kruger would be interested in potentially?
I mean, wiring,
Is that it?
uh, shielding maybe, uh, of things, radiation shielding or directed energy weapon shielding potentially. Typical copper things.
Yeah.
And you should read some of the history of this. The Krugers are not an unknown group of people, even on Earth. They basically built South Africa as a country. So
Yeah.
it's um there is some history on them that can even be found here.
I was talking to somebody recently from South Africa, and he was talking to me about the diamond beaches. That's why I've highlighted that on there, and saying that you need a permit to get
Where
close to that in Namibia.
oh,
Namibia,
oh,
yeah. And so I wondered if that's something that Kruger might be interested in as well, or have control over.
do they have are, are diamonds actually found there and stuff?
Yeah, they wash up on the beach. It's a
Oh
protected
wow.
area because they're so easily
That's
available. So the whole area is like you require permits and it's hard to get there. They've made it like cordoned off.
huh.
Um, but it's publicly well known that that area's got diamond beaches. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
So London isn't generally on our map for today, but did you want to mention Kruger in London?
Yeah, I just know that they have one of their headquarters is there. Um and I believe that it is under St. Pancras Station.
Okay.
Yeah,
Definitely need to do a separate show on the UK, but in my experience, that's when I get the most targeting. So, because that one I did with Sean recently, I got really badly attacked afterwards.
unfortunate.
Yep. Okay. Okay. All good. Okay. Yeah, so I've been preparing for this for 2 days and I can already feel the targeting coming in, but it's fine. Okay. So South Africa. Anything else you want to mention about South Africa?
Uh, it is very full of SSP assets from particularly the white community, particularly the uh, Afrikaner white community,
Yeah.
is extremely disproportionately for the rest of the population, probably even targeted for the SSP.
Yeah. So I mean, the asset that I met at Base's conference, he said he knew me, and he knew me as Watts. My name was Watts. So, and I got a couple of visions in, but I also knew him from a base in Manchester that I'd not connected into before I met him. So yeah, another UK South African super soldier, I guess. Okay, so
Is he Afrikaner or English?
he's just English. Yeah, he's
Oh,
English.
okay.
But we both must work out there. But the vision I had, it definitely was mercenary work that we were doing. Definitely.
Hmm.
It was very rogue, and he's terrible attitude. So if you watch
Yeah,
some plays, you'll know what I'm talking about his bad attitude. Yeah, so we were definitely on the darker side of things, perhaps. So
perhaps.
perhaps. So we've got Malta. I've gone in just to show everyone where Malta is, and then I've got these little maps of Malta, and then I've got two sacred sites that I've tuned into. Um,
Okay.
and somebody I was talking to yesterday, Christy Clark, was saying he's just come back from Gozo and he had a really beautiful galactic experience there, cleansing the land in the island there. So it's definitely a place that I want to visit. So what do you remember?
Nothing good. Um, yeah. I thought you had said you didn't want to talk about this on the show, but okay, we can
No.
now.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
We can skip it. It's fine.
No, no, I don't mind. I thought you had said you didn't want to.
Did I? I
I
don't
don't.
mind wipe. Go on.
Okay, it's
Well, shall I show you the two sites
um
I've got on here?
okay.
So I've got the
It's
the megalithic temple, and then I've got the Hypogeum, the sound chamber that I'm really drawn to at the moment, and I want to visit that. That's all I've
That
got.
is
Yeah,
that is really cool.
yeah,
Um, it's not that bad. I'll tell you, Malta is a an Illuminati hub, which most truthers would know because there is the Knights of Malta.
yeah.
Uh, I was taken there as a child, and I lived there for about 7 months, I think, in this villa on the beach. As Illuminati childhood things go, it was fairly pleasant. We mostly were left to our own devices.
Do you remember
Most,
whereabouts it was? Like which side?
I think it was on the South Shore.
Okay,
I don't know why I think that. I think it was somewhere on the South Shore.
is that Zurich?
Uh,
Zurich?
Zurich. Um, no, I think more like Briz Tabuga or whatever that
Yeah,
is.
Berzabuga.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, and we had the main weird thing is we had to read this book of it was called quote unquote the Satan Bible, but first of all it wasn't about Satan, and second of all it wasn't like the Jewish slash Christian Bible where it had like verses and stuff. It was like it in the sense that it was a collection of fairy tales. Yeah, I said it. And we had to memorize that, and I remember one really, it was just a bunch of really weird and some of them very dark, but like not as dark as you're probably thinking, but still very weird fairy tales about like where Moloch was the hero and stuff.
Okay. So,
Yeah,
no, I'll mention that when we get off. Anyway, I was thinking about the Brothers Grimm and then something else that I'll talk about privately. Do you think the Brothers Grimm are like weird programming tales?
yes. I've had heard enough testimony to think that yes, I know people who were programmed with that. Yep.
Wow. Okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
Okay. So we moving
Yeah.
moving on. And so we got Mount Subasio, and yeah, I did go there. I put the alias one there as well. So um
Yeah.
I put a circle on there for Rome, and so it recently came up in one of my sessions with Sean Bond that I'm linked to because I had a vision about the Trevi Fountain that came from mine and Drago's shared Akashic records, and it was like a jump spot that we used to go to, and Sean Bond went in and said that there's a huge Men in Black transit facility under that area that apparently I'm linked to multidimensionally across time space, and as ETs are coming to the planet, I would take them back in time and I would establish them on the Earth so that in this time they would have a legacy and rights to be here on the planet, something strange like that. So I highlighted that on there, but I don't know anything about Mount Subasio. Um,
Yeah. Um, it's a major hub on in the underground maglev network that links the planet.
okay,
There's also, I think there is also a gate down under there. And it's also where a lot of DNA is stored to the limited extent that such
ah,
things are even done on Earth anymore.
no,
As time goes on, less and less and less and less stuff happens on Earth.
yeah, DNA stuff
Hmm.
I do have connection into, and there's like it's like a DNA archive ship, and I've had visions of being on this ship, and we use those little pyramids, those storage pyramids, and it all
Hmm.
slots in into like a tower. I've seen it, so it's like a place that I frequent often, apparently. Um, so how is that connected to the Alias TV show? How is this disclosure? And let's talk about that.
Okay, Alias is one of the I think it's the number 4 show I would recommend people watch. It's not quite as important as the top 3. but it is pretty important. It's a very good display of what it's like to be a spy. It's a realistic display of it with genetic enhancement, clearly, because a normal person could not do these feats. And I think in one of the later seasons, it is vaguely implied that these people are genetically enhanced. But anyway,
Mm.
there was a plot line in season one of Alias wherein the protagonist had to gaze upon Mount Subasio at sunrise on a specific date so as to not uh, cause the apocalypse. Um,
Mm.
which is interesting. I don't know if that's a real thing that ever happened. That is interesting. I do think that it is probably a ley line or something there because it is a place of what sounds to me like most likely pagan rituals that were then folded into Catholic tradition.
Yeah,
Because
I've read
it's
this one.
basically there's the city there called Assisi, and there's a very famous monastery there called Assisi, and there's also this spot here, which is a pilgrimage site, where it's the uh, hub of worship for Saint Francis, who apparently was this guy who went out and like preached to the animals and stuff, and taught people that they needed to venerate nature and be completely and entirely themselves because that is how God made you,
Mm.
which doesn't sound very Christian to me. So,
Okay.
um, yeah,
Yeah, I've
I
definitely been to this site. I can see myself sitting there actually. So
yeah,
I'm
okay,
really drawn to it. Um,
yeah,
this one, I mean, one of my names was almost one of her alters, so alter egos. So interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I almost changed my name to Julia Thorne, and that was one of her characters. So
yeah.
insane.
Watch Alias, people.
Yeah, and even
Seriously.
the hair colors and things like that. It's the same with Orphan Black. I've had all of those styles. I've been all of those. Yeah, it drives me nuts. Yeah, it's a lot
Yeah.
of copying going on there. Okay, so moving on. Unless there's anything else you want to add about that one.
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Okay, so we've got Montserrat, France. Um, yeah, so there's quite a few areas that have a similar name, and so what's the deal with this one?
Yeah, underneath it there is a cache of alien technology, an ancient one that there's only been limited success in accessing. It's in this huge it's a converted cavern system that has been carved smoothed out, and the rooms all have really strong force field covering both the entrances and all the walls and the floors. And so far, they've only been able to access a couple of them, and there's dozens upon dozens upon dozens of them stretching out through these caverns, carved out deep underground, full of ancient alien technology.
So who's
Who
kind
left
of who owns that area then? Is there a faction
uh,
taking like dominance of it?
the French SSP?
Ah, okay. Not thought about that
Yeah,
before. Yeah.
yeah.
Do-
Homme de la Nuit. Men of the Night is what they're.
Okay. Do we know
Yeah,
anybody who's French SSP?
I know a guy who is. He isn't public. I'm not going to say who it is. I know a guy who is. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't believe, I mean,
Yeah.
nothing's come up for me, but I've only just discovered being Russian SSP and Indian SSP and Australian and whatever. So, yeah, maybe France is part of mine and it'll come up soon. My French is terrible. Did
Eh,
I pick the right picture on that one? Is that
yes,
the right
I
location?
think so. I think so. Yeah.
What kind of tech do you think that's there? Do you think it's ancient AI or all weapons or
Uh,
Stargates?
it's all it's all sorts of things. There's engines in there. There's scrolls full of we don't even know what, because again, most of it hasn't been accessed. There's at least a couple of looking glasses in there. There's small ships. There are weapons of various kinds. There's more of those pyramids with crystal spheres inside, like I've mentioned.
Yeah.
I mention those quite often in my book.
Yeah, when you mentioned
Um,
that in the book, I was able to tune into them on the planet. There's still 21 of them on the planet that I can connect into, but the one that I tuned into integrated into my energy field, and it can change size, and um, they're used for multiple things, multiple things. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
There's all sorts of stuff in these
yeah.
areas. Like I mentioned, dozens and dozens of rooms full of stuff that we can only see from the outside, mostly. I think they've accessed like three of these rooms successfully.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. So if the French could access, would that make them like, top dog on the planet?
potentially.
How many looking glass are available on the planet?
Let me think.
You're watching John Whitberg on Basis TV. You can find his videos on YouTube, Substack, and the Internet Archive.
Three that I know of for sure. There's one in the US, there's one in China, there's one in Czechia, of all places.
Where's
Um, at one half of the former Czechoslovakia.
okay.
Um, oh, and there's also one in Egypt. Yeah, so
Okay.
four that I can think of off the top of my head in total that I know about.
Egypt, I would like to do a separate show on because I keep getting drawn to like a cavern tunnel network, and there's a private collector who is hoarding ancient artifacts. That's the feeling I get on it. And so I would like to do more with Egypt another time. I need to spend a
Okay,
bit more time tuning into it.
okay.
Okay. So moving on to Russia. So I put a little map on there to show Norilsk, which is what I did in the last show with Sean Bond, and I've had confirmation from the other asset that I was with that he was there at that base as well. So, and when Sean tuned into it, not only did he find, yeah, it's a mining place with all the nickel, he confirmed the lab that I'd seen and remembered, but he confirmed that there's a Lemurian ancient city underground with ships and Stargate and portal tech there. And then you were talking about Lake Svetloya. Is that how you say that? So, yeah,
Sweat,
really
sweat,
interesting.
Svetloyar, I believe.
Okay.
I believe I'll have to ask my Russian friend after this.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So tell us about it.
what there is a legend that at the bottom of the lake there is a city called Kitej, an ancient city. There is an ancient city there. What the records get wrong, or perhaps they've been altered to, is that it's not at the bottom of the lake, it's under the lake, underground.
Okay.
And it is an alien city. I don't know what species built it. Uh, but it is down there, and they made a video game about it, incidentally. Rise of the Tomb Raider. Uh, and there is a lot of disclosure in that game. Um, I don't know if in the game there's like an undead army down in there. I don't know if that's accurate. I think that's probably artistic license. But they do show this thing that is a giant glowing gemstone type of thing that is basically a fountain of youth, or at least it heals you of ailments, and it is implied to be ancient alien technology in the game. I am pretty sure that that's real. Um, I have disparate memories of a lot of this stuff, okay, guys? That's why I don't make absolutely certain statements. A lot of my memories are very piecey. I have to kind of infer a lot from images. going through my head and such. Okay, this is not all clear all the time for me. Uh,
You've still got more than most people on this planet. You really
well,
have.
well, thanks, but like still. Um, I have several memories of a device like that I just mentioned that is shown in the game, and one of them I do remember being in an ancient and very cold underground city. And I also have memories of going underneath Lake Svetloyar, and there is an ancient city down there and such. So yeah.
Okay, cool. I wanted to show the other one that we discovered. Oh no, hold on, it's on the next slide. This is another ancient ET city that Sean tuned into, which is south of the other one that I was looking at. But when I looked into the Ozero Bolshoi Toko Lake, there's an actual elite community around that area that
Hmm.
loads of high powered people are into. It's like a gated community, but when Sean tuned into it, it was an ancient alien colony with really high security around it. So this isn't like, so there's a lot going on in Russia. So I thought I'd share that
Yeah,
with you.
there is.
But this is the Elgerton Lake that me and Christy Campbell tuned into. So there's definitely something under there. And then that got me thinking about how close it was to the Black Pyramid site in Alaska. Do you know much about that?
Hmm. No, I don't. I've only heard about it from other people. I don't have memories of being there.
Okay. I've tuned into it. I've been there. But I went directly into the pyramid, so I didn't really see what was going on around it. I know Beverly has talked about it being like a multinational facility with lots of people there experimenting on the pyramid. But I just had access. It just let me in, so I didn't really tune in much. I'm connected to quite a few black pyramids on the planet, so I wasn't really looking at what else was going on there.
Hmm.
Okay, anything else about Russia that you wanted to talk about? Oh yeah, can you tell us why they would use all the nickel and things like that that's being mined in Norilsk? And what that's yeah.
Nickel is used a lot for radiation shielding, uh,
Hmm.
and also in batteries. I think they use nickel a lot. Nickel is pretty conductive, I think. If I am getting this wrong, my chemistry teacher is welcome to attempt to beat me. I think I could take her in a fight. She was like 5'1".
Like
Um,
me.
yeah,
You couldn't take me in a fight.
she was like 5'1", like 95 pounds, soaking wet. So
Soaking wet.
yeah,
But you may be
I,
Master Spy, but like Ultra Soldier, so um
uh-huh.
So in Norilsk, it's like a closed city and you have to be flown in and out. So when they do all the mining, if they were going to take that off planet, in the Lemurian city base, there is like wormholes. So Sean was saying that my wormhole ability was being used, and there was an old gate system that had been collapsed, and they were trying to reverse engineer it. So yeah, so I guess that's how they're getting things off and on the planet. What do you think about that? Makes
Okay, that
sense?
makes sense.
Okay. Does it make sense? Okay, moving on. To Mount Furutaka, Japan.
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting one. Mount Furutaka. There is a pretty sizable Stargate under there. It's not the biggest one that there is on the planet, incidentally, but it's about 200 feet in diameter. That's plenty big enough to get a reasonably sized ship through. So that makes it important in and of itself. There is and it's right next to Etajima, which had before World War II, Etajima was home to the third largest military training academy in the world. After I think the first one, oh gosh, it was in somewhere in the US, then one in the UK, and then Etajima Military Academy. Uh, which I think it still operates in a very limited amount in Japan. Japan doesn't have really a military to speak of anymore. They have a self-defense force. That's it. Um, they were completely and utterly subjugated at the end of the war. But at any rate, I have a theory that this was one of the very first, if not the very first, proper super soldier training places in the world. Um, it's a theory, but I think it makes sense.
Hmm.
Um, because it is older than a lot of the other places that I do know to be super soldier training facilities that are on the planet. It's older, for instance, than Holloman Air Force Base. It's older than I think it's slightly older than Camp Hero, I think, even possibly. It might be about the same age as Camp Hero. Uh, Still, it's very old, and they did train super soldiers there at least before and during World War II.
What do you think about some people, like Renetta Jones said that people would be taken into undersea programs for training first before they went off planet? Do you think that's true?
I'm sure that that happens, yes. I don't think that happened to me. I don't have memories particularly of being in undersea programs, but I'm sure it happens. There are undersea bases, so, you
We could do
know,
a separate show on undersea bases for sure.
okay.
Because there's crystal pyramids under the sea that I have
Yeah,
tuned into.
yeah,
I mean, I've got a memory of being under the sea, and I thought at first it was Seagate, and then I realized it's just me on Ganymede. So, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
You're suspended in a black void and you found it comforting.
Yeah, I
Freak.
did. I'm not a freak. I'm just from Ganymede. I can't help that there's a version of me that grew up there
Yeah,
making
I know.
people, looking up into the blackness, into the void. I mean, even my dragon self is from the void. So of course the
Mm,
void is nurturing and calming. Anyway, let me just check where we're up to. Okay, so there's more pictures there, Mount Furutaka. Do you remember
yeah.
going there?
Yeah, I remember being there. I remember being there and going through the gate several times.
Was that the biggest gate you've ever been through?
No. Uh, the biggest gate is the one that I know of, that it is the one that's inside the time bubble version of Fort Worden base in Washington State. I talk about it in the book. That gate is about 5,000 feet in diameter.
So I do
That's
feel drawn to that area, but I don't have any recall on that yet, other than
yeah.
particular places on the pictures. Yeah.
That's the biggest one on planet that I know of, although it's kind of not technically on planet because it's in a time bubble pocket reality, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Uh, that's the biggest one on planet. There are much bigger ones off planet that are, floating around in space. But
Mm, that's awesome. Okay, anything else on Japan before we move on? I think we could do a whole separate show just on Asia for sure, because that's something that I'm working on at the moment.
yeah. Hmm.
So we will come back to it. So yeah, because there's so many places. That's why I put the Asia map in. There's
Oh,
so many places that I'm drawn to on here. And I mean, I've
Jap-
lived in Thailand, so I know I've had action over there. I've lived in Malaysia.
mhm.
Um, yeah. So I just put that in for reference. So we've got Vietnam, the Misan Temple.
Yeah.
You're watching John Whitberg on Basis TV. You can find his videos on YouTube, Substack, and the Internet Archive.
This one, I think that all this stuff is gone since probably the 60s.
Hmm.
Or the 70s, probably more likely the 70s, when the South Vietnamese government took their military leadership off world uh
Mm.
at the end of the war. Um, I think that this place was built by the Naga. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do know there are still Naga underground in parts of Vietnam. Uh, in the mountains, you can see some of the mountains there in the background of this picture. Um, Let me try and think what else.
Because I do identify as Naga aspect.
Right,
Got
yeah.
Naga like doctor diplomats and stuff around me at times as well, I've been told. And I'm Naga off planet as well.
Oh, I have memories of time traveling to this place back in its prime. Um, and there were several gates there. I think we were there to like, I think when we were there, we captured those gates and brought them forward in time.
So
Uh,
with the gates, can were there any fixed gates that only went to one point, or did all gates go to wherever you wanted them to go?
most most gates only go to one point.
Okay.
Hmm. Uh, Although a lot of them rotate points,
Yeah.
but those points are fixed and there is a fixed rotation. They do that because of like the energetic connectivity, the strength of it shifts as um the as planets spin around their sun and as suns spin around in star clusters and as star clusters spin around in the galaxy and as galaxies spin around in the universe.
Okay.
It's very complicated and it has to do with like electric universe theory stuff and quantum mechanics stuff. I'm not a physicist, guys.
There's an
I just
aspect of me that is an expert in Stargate mechanics, but it's not this one. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So don't ask me how exactly it works. I just know that that's
Okay.
why things change sometimes.
So, anything else about Vietnam in general before we move on? Because I've got Thailand next, I think. So,
Okay,
yeah.
Vietnam was an ET war.
Mm.
Um, the South was supported by the Draco. The North was supported by the Aldebaranites and also the Orion Syndicate. Uh, and looks like they won. I'm not so sure, given how radically different the government there is now from the North Vietnamese government that they're supposedly descended from. I'm not so sure that they're supported by the same people now, but regardless, mm,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I've not
And
been.
I have weird memories of supporting both sides, which is funny.
Okay. What about the tunnels? The ET tunnels,
They're ET tunnel,
like alien
well,
made.
there are those everywhere. I'm not sure I know which ones you mean in Vietnam.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
you mean the ones that the VC fighters used?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if those are alien built, incidentally. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Attaya, Thailand.
Yeah.
I love Thailand, my favorite place. If I had to go
Hmm.
anywhere right now, it would be Thailand. Straight away.
Yeah, I love Thailand also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yet another place I remember time traveling to, and yet another place that there is a gate facility underneath it. Um, I remember they've actually had difficulty moving the gate from there, so this facility for now still exists. Uh, yeah,
So can they take the gate apart, or does it have to be moved in one big go?
it has to be moved in one big go.
If it could we reduce the size of the gate? I'm thinking about it.
Potentially, but not always. I think they probably have tried that and it didn't work.
Okay.
I don't know if I was there when they did that, but like I think if they're still not able to move it after having found it in probably the 50s, then they've probably tried all the usual methods.
I've got more Stargate questions, but I'll save that for when I've got a Stargate slide. So
Okay.
so what else can you tell us about this particular place or Thailand in general?
Thailand, I all of Southeast Asia is full of gates, and they often pop up and they have to go and be captured and before they close. That happens a lot in Southeast Asia and the Middle East as well, which will have Middle East places later on.
Hmm.
Um,
Is there like a tracking facility on planet that people can see the gates opening up?
yes,
How
Cheyenne Mountain.
Okay.
Um,
They
although it doesn't necessarily cover the entire planet.
are they just
But the way,
like a temporal disturbance or an energetic disturbance?
yes,
A disturbance in the force, even? Sorry.
something like that. They
Sorry.
have ways of like magnetic. I think it's like electromagnetic. And a sharp increase in electromagnetic energy is
Yeah.
uh often a sign of a gate opening.
Yeah. I have because we'll come to Cheyenne Mountain later, but I have a memory in Cheyenne and it's like I'm in a control room and I've got another memory, one of the first ones I got last year, of just screens, so many screens. It's just, yeah, so definitely some kind of observer.
Yeah,
Okay. So moving on. We are into Syria now, which I was quite surprised when you gave me this one. But I'm really drawn to it. Is this the right one?
yeah.
Okay. Um,
There is another big cache of ancient tech down under there, and there is also a gate down there.
hmm.
Uh, I know about this place because this is an incident that will be in volume 5 of my book. Should I talk about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, why
Let's
not?
do. Yeah.
Um, I raised a boy in the programs named Harune Arasaka. Um, he had a house in the anti-Lebanon mountain range in Syria that was under attack in the war, and so I had to rescue his staff and also his caretaker, who was also his boyfriend at the time, from yeah, from this place. And incidentally, his boyfriend is a member of the Bin Laden family, which that's a whole story in and of
Oh,
itself.
okay.
But yeah, we'll talk about that another time. But anyway, I had to rescue them out of this place, and we were looking for passage off world, and we went into this base. We were told go to that base, and so we went. We followed the protocols. We got turned away, and we got sent uh to France, incidentally, to Saint-Tropez, France, which is a I don't have it here because it's not an ancient gate. It's a different gate. Um, yeah. So that's all underneath Busra Asham, which is mostly destroyed now, unfortunately.
Okay.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the Roman theater there still exists,
Hmm.
but there was a whole city uh around it that is mostly gone now. Ain't an ancient city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm.
Anything else on this slide that you want to get into? You want to mention about Gaza or whatever? It's up to you.
That's a different subject, I would say.
Okay, cool. So we're in Iran. And yep.
Okay.
Persepolis. Persepolis.
Yeah, that's a gate facility. Look at that, even that structure there. You can see gates in that thing there. That is an ancient gate place. I suspect that some of those things were still activatable until the 60s. I have some memory of it. I have a memory also of time traveling there to ancient times, and it was a multi-planetary city. Brings a whole new meaning to like multicultural.
So
There were
multi-planetary meaning there were aliens there, or it was
yes,
linked.
yes, there were aliens there.
So would you go through these gates to other places as well? Because I've got that
Yes,
situation with Egypt that I'm linked into Egypt, but I'm linked into Sirius at the same time. So it's like I can be in them both, or I can go from one to the other through a gate.
yeah,
Like that's just the same place or something. It's a bit weird. Um,
yeah. There were multiple species living in Persepolis.
yeah,
Yeah,
cool. Um, all right.
and there's reliefs up there of Anunnaki.
Okay. I don't
Yeah.
really get into the Anunnaki stuff too much. I don't know why. It doesn't resonate with me at the moment at all. But I know a lot of people want to hear about it. So tell us a little bit about the Anunnaki. Go on.
The Anunnaki are like they're what no, they're not like they are the tall whites that Charles Hall spoke about. They're anywhere from 9 to 15 feet tall, bright white skin, wraith-like. Um, they have their skin is semi-translucent. They have issues with hemoglobin, so they're yeah. They wow, oh yep.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, like that, but much taller.
Yeah.
And they don't usually have dreadlocks. I've never seen that.
You're watching John Whitberg on Basis TV. You can find his videos on YouTube, Substack, and the Internet Archive.
So this is the Wraith from Stargate Atlantis, which I was going to talk about in a second. And then you've got the guys from the Matrix. It just makes me think about the same. When I think about the Wraith, I think about these guys. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Interesting. So I'll go back. I'll go back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So you can very clearly see in that picture that those are gates in that picture.
So each one of those would be a doorway. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So it's not like a circle Stargate. It's just a doorway. Yeah.
Hmm.
I was reading somewhere recently about doors appearing in random places, like a door with a frame and it just appears in a forest.
Yeah, I've heard about that. That's probably what that is.
Yeah. And they're giving off like an electrical charge or they're warm or cold and everything around them's a different temperature. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, interesting. Okay. That's really interesting. So this would be multi-access to different planetary systems in this one location.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So we're in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Galactic tour.
Uh, yeah. Mauna Kea. Mauna Kea is a pyramid. Uh,
Wow. Okay.
yeah. Yeah. It's also a very sacred site, um, to the native Hawaiian people. They do talk about the fact that I think that their gods were birthed from it, quote unquote, and such. A lot of times when you hear like this mythological language, you have to realize this is primitive people who are 20 generations down the line from the actual event trying to make sense of ET events.
Mm.
That's what this kind of mythological language is speaking of, usually. So, like, I could give another example. Zeus riding in a chariot of lightning is not literally about a guy named Zeus riding in a chariot of lightning. It's about an ET who the, was later dubbed that by the locals coming down in a ship because there are ships that come down in clouds or that hide themselves in clouds and that do create electrical disturbances around them. I That's an example. But at any rate, Mauna Kea, this I think was one of the first DUMs um, for that was established very early on in the American SSP process
Hmm.
in the late 1800s when America took over Hawaii, which was a sovereign nation, and captured it without a treaty, um, it, which makes it completely and totally illegally occupied territory,
Yeah.
um, incidentally.
Hmm. All right.
And so there is a gate down there. I don't remember where it goes to. I think it goes to like a really watery planet that is quite a place quite similar to Hawaii.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can.
Okay, so Cheyenne Mountain. So I believe there's a version of me that actually grew up there and is still there. And I did a vision quest with Sean Bond when I actually accessed it in the here and now. And he said, it's just a memory. And I was like, Sean, there's alarms going off here. I need to get out of here. And then he said,
Yeah,
go
that's
back to a
not the
time.
safe.
Yeah, go back to a time when you were there before. And I went back to like the 1940s and realized the Stargate wasn't there because it didn't go until much later on, didn't actually arrive there. Yeah, so I'm there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that it was there by 1953, but
Yeah.
that's
So I
I
got
write about it
there early
I write about it in the 50s a lot in my book, which incidentally they tell you that this base was founded in the 60s. So
because I
I
visited it in
suspected,
the 1940s. Yeah.
yeah, I
Um,
suspect that,
mm,
I mean, I don't think that that's recent enough history that I can't just lie about it. There are people who were alive right now who were alive in the 1940s. So you can't just lie about that.
yeah.
So they only added an above ground entrance at that point, or were dealing with another time bubble situation.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah. It would make more sense, wouldn't it?
yeah.
So
Um, I remember being there a lot in the 50s. I know that there's, I think, 37 levels. Uh, I write about it a lot in the third volume of my book, which people should read if they want to know that stuff. I also remember being programmed there as a child. That's where my altars were created. And they were experimenting with non-MK Ultra techniques in that era. They were mostly focused on drugs and hypnosis and uh, suggestion than trauma-based mind control.
yeah. Mm.
Um, yeah,
So Stargate SG-1 based there. Uh,
yeah. They shrank the gate a lot in the show. It's
yeah.
like pretty small in the show, and also there are inaccuracies in how it looks. But uh, in real life, it's about 500 feet in diameter,
Yeah.
and there are no hieroglyphics on the ring around it, and also the dial there is not accurate at all.
Yeah.
Uh, that 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 dial, I've never seen a dial like that, period, actually.
Mm. That's why I put it there. I wanted to ask that question. Because I had a vision come in when I was doing the Indian SSP recall, and there was a plate, but it was like something that my hand would just sink into. Um,
Mm.
but I'm not sure what kind of portal that was. But it was like I had to hold it open. That's how it was coming in, and people were going in and out, but I wasn't. It was like I had to hold it open, and I was too valuable to go through it at the time. Like people needed to check it out first. It was something like that. It was really weird, the memory that came in. Um, yeah, so anything else? So the Stargate, see, we've got the like that watery thing in the center. Would that be like that? What would it be like when you're
Yes,
through?
that is accurate.
Okay, that's interesting.
It doesn't throw you out like in the show though.
Yeah.
It doesn't throw you out. You just step through, but you do feel weird So the first few times you do it, you probably will pass out.
Are you
Because
like
for
materializing bit by bit, or
yeah, but no, but basically what you're doing is you're transiting via a fourth dimension.
okay?
So you feel yourself exit your body and then re-enter it.
Wow.
And eh, and it's over in an instant, of course, and the momentum of stepping through will push you through, but like your first few times doing it, you probably are gonna faint because it's that jarring.
Yeah. So
Um,
have you seen
and
Stargate Atlantis?
some of it, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, go on, what were you going to say? Sorry.
I have a suspicion, incidentally, that excessive Stargate use is part of the issue that a lot of SSP assets have, where we look very young on the surface, and but internally we have the bodies of much older people.
Yeah, I mean, my bone
Uh,
density is not good. And I've got
yeah,
Not Star Lord, Time Lord abilities, which means that I don't suffer from vortex sickness the way most other people would. And I can transmute really high volume radiation levels. And Audrey Walters talks about that in her book about vortex sickness from time travel and Stargate use. Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
I suspect I suspect this is part of the issue because it one of the issues it causes when it re-enters you into your body. I don't know why this is. I need to speak to an SSP medic about this to find out if my theory is accurate. But at any rate, it redistributes the salt in your body.
oh,
Salt
interesting.
is salt is a preservative.
Hmm.
I suspect what this does is it spins all the salt up to the surface, and so the rest of you internally ages.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I've got osteoarthritis, so I've just had to have that ankle fusion surgery and things like that. But I am,
Yeah, I have the vision of a 70-year-old.
yeah,
And I only have one kidney left. I have
really.
stomach issues. Yeah, I'm a mess.
I didn't realize you only have one kidney. Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not good, not good. The reason I put Stargate Atlantis in there was a few things. One of them was only certain people with the right DNA could operate the chair system. And fly
Hmm.
the puddle jumpers, the little ships and everything. So it was all DNA encoded. So I thought that's quite interesting. And the ship itself, because that is a ship, it looks like a star snowflake. And so, what do you think about Stargate Atlantis? Any
I
accuracy?
like it.
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, there is accuracy to that.
I
Um,
really liked it. Um,
yeah, my favorite is I can't even remember what it's called now, but not SG-1, not Atlantis, the last one.
oh, I know the one.
Um,
What was on the really big ship? Was it Continuum? Was it that one?
no, that's a Continuum is a different series.
Okay. Oh yes. Well, I know the one you mean. The one with the Scottish actor.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was.
and
Oh, we need to do a separate show on that.
yeah, I can't remember what it's called now.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Um.
There is a character who I suspect is based on me
Yeah.
in that show.
So he solved the video game, solved the ancient language puzzle, and then the next thing, the like SG people are at his door. That guy.
Yeah, and he goes from being like a pretty cowardly nerd to like uh getting all the chicks and also being um what was I gonna say, to a military intelligence position over the course of the show.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So in this
Yeah.
picture, so we've got the Wraith on the screen, and I wanted to draw parallels with the Wraith, in the TV show with aliens that are out there, but also that weird ship. Have you ever seen anything that looks like that?
Not really.
No. Oh, okay. That's disappointing.
The the Wraith are basically feral Anunnaki.
Yeah.
The real Anunnaki are much more, I don't like to use the word impressive. They're much more advanced, let's
Yeah.
say. The real Anunnaki are, they have IQs in uh, of 300 or more. They can manifest complex things out of thin air because they have commands of the elements.
Yeah.
Uh, so that to a really high degree, they can enter your mind and puppet you for a period of time. They
Yeah.
can divide their souls up into multiple people and puppet all of them from a distance, you know, without the needing to be mind controlled or anything like that. It's a natural ability they have. You know,
So where are they?
they can uh Nibiru.
Okay. Where's Nibiru?
Nibiru Nibiru is a planet that orbits a brown dwarf that is just past the edge of the Oort cloud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, now you mentioned the Falkland Islands, so I went off on a tangent at the Falkland Islands and I found RF Mount Pleasant. There's something weird going on there because you can't even really Google it. And but then I tuned into this Tusak Island, and I was really drawn to Fox Bay and found
Mm.
that it had an airstrip and things like that when I zoomed in. So I just put that in there for reference of random grid work that I was doing, looking at this when you were talking about Tula Base. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tula Island. So,
Tula Island, interesting place. Tula Island is the only still extant black goo mine on the planet. And that's what the Falklands War was actually about, was the Brits wanted control of it.
hmm,
Um, yeah.
okay. So I
So
was quite
people,
surprised how close it was to Antarctica.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
interesting.
If I'm sure people know what black goo is for crying out loud, so we don't need to go into that.
Why? Okay, why is Black Goose so valuable?
Because black goo is a nanite AI liquid that at doubles, if not triples, your IQ. It gives you regenerative capabilities in your body. Uh, it makes you not age anywhere near as quickly as you would, etc. It makes you basically superhuman at the cost of your humanity.
Yeah.
You lose the ability to feel anything other than logic or anger or arousal. Um, you lose your attachment to anything material or emotional, all of that stuff.
Do you think that you can have it in your system and then it kind of will reduce and you'll kind of detox off it?
No, you can't do that. To remove it you have to die to get it out of your system.
Okay.
It
So,
it is that fused in. However, it can be in your system dormant and not be affecting you on the surface level. Um, I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how you would induce such a state. Don't ask me. But
so
I do know that, but
see.
that is a thing that can be done. There are also people who have rejected it. I suspect that those people are synthetics.
Yeah.
Um, because it is very specifically programmed to attach to organic life, of any kind. It can attach even to a plant if it wants.
Yeah.
Or if you inject it into the veins of a plant, it will attach to that plant. Um, I don't know what if it would really have any effect on the plant because, if anything, it would probably just end up suffocating it by blocking the water going through it. But um,
Okay, Spider-Man, Venom, Black Goo.
sorta. It doesn't change what you look like.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it conscious or just programmable?
it is conscious.
Okay, that's scary.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, as you were
It,
talking, I was kind of seeing a spine, and it was like where in between the bones, I was seeing black goo
hmm.
in between the bones is what was coming in. Um,
That is how it usually distributes itself.
that's gross. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So is there black goo in our everyday things here on the planet that they could just put it into, say, my black drink, my Pepsi, or
I've heard that theory.
yeah. Okay. Because
I
it's
do
so
know that
hard
it
to.
is. I do know that it is in oil, and so you breathe it in quite often.
Yeah.
It's because it is capable of fumigating, and it's also in the giant black rock in Mecca
Yeah.
is a black goo rock, and when the pilgrims go up to it, a lot of them kiss it. So they're basically microdosing.
So I don't know if I heard it from you, but is it that whatever that is, that rock is not doesn't have to take that cube form. It can just be whatever it wants, and then it takes
Yeah,
cube form
it
to interact with
it can
people. Yeah,
yeah, right.
that's really
That's not black goo. That's other there is other ancient AI though that goes
yeah,
into it doesn't have to do that. True AI doesn't even need a body.
yeah. We could do it doing an AI show at some point because people have asked me about Red Queen, which I am connected to, and the difference between Red Queen AI and then Montauk AI and things like that. So at some point we need to do an AI conscious show,
Okay.
unfortunately. Um, okay. So we're in Australia. So I've got Uluru, Rock.
Yeah.
I have an
Uh
Australian map as well, because there's some areas that I'm going to pinpoint. And we're coming right towards the end now as well.
okay, how many are left, by the way?
I can't tell while I'm in here unless I go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. Don't bother.
Not many, not many. Yeah.
Okay, Uluru has a gate under it. And that gate leads where does it lead?
You're watching John Whitberg on Basis TV. You can find his videos on YouTube, Substack, and the Internet Archive.
I knew this until we
Yeah. Well, if I switch to my map,
yeah. Yeah, Pine Gap. I don't know about Pine Gap much,
yeah,
but
I
it
know
is
about Pine Gap. I know there's at least five of me there. I've seen it as a transit facility, and so's Christy. There's
yeah.
also a medical facility there. We're being used as medics, and there is stasis chambers that I've seen. But it's another kind of alien access to the planet facility.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think Uluru Rock the one is going down uh where was it? To a jungle planet somewhere.
oh, okay.
I think guys, I have done a Stargate special before on my own channel where I talked about a lot of these sites.
Yeah,
The difference is when I was doing that, I was able and I had time to really go deep into each one and make sure I was accurate. In this one, if I am not 100% consistent, I'm sorry because I that's another thing with a lot of these memories, you have to reinforce them in your own head or
yeah.
you're gonna forget them.
Hey, it's okay. We really appreciate it. Thank you. We do.
I
Um,
know, but like,
yeah.
yeah.
Don't worry. I was surprised at how close Uluru is to Pine Gap. Really surprised about that. But I know Pine Gap is really big and deep, so it's likely it takes over bigger territory there. I've also highlighted around Sydney that there is a facility there because I remember Indigo Angel and Felix Hyde doing a show on it a couple of years ago. But I've not felt into it, but I have had a weird experience there, which I talk about on another video with Sean when we do map work. And then the other dots are just places where I believe I've had strange experiences while I was out there for a year. Because in Mullaney, near the Glasshouse Mountains, I have recurring nightmares about this. Being in that town, and the town is empty and things are on fire, and it was just it's one of my
Wow.
recalls. Yeah, it really is. So something definitely happened when I was out that way. I was working with Conservation Volunteers Australia, which at the time I thought was really good, and now I think it's probably just a way to get loads of backpackers from all over the world into, a place together, because I've had multiple experiences in that 6 weeks. So Mullaney, near Australia Zoo, Sydney, and the rest I was camper vanning. So I was based in Perth, and then I started to go from Perth all the way down to Tasmania. I've highlighted Millicent on there purely because we were talking and I mentioned that name, and then it comes up on the map, and I thought, oh, okay, why is my mind giving me
Mm.
that name? There must be something there. So yeah, because I was based around Murray Bridge for quite a while, which again was another abattoir issue. So I was working in an abattoir for 3 or 4 months, and Tasmania was something that I have PTSD about, which sounds silly, but it was the ferry from Melbourne to Tasmania at night time that I have terrible PTSD about how bad the waters were. And we literally hit a massive storm, and I think I was taken at the same time, multi-dimensionally or something, because I have a horrific recall about that journey, and it comes up in my mind all the time, and it freaks me out. So yeah, so I lived in Tasmania for a couple of months. Anyway, I think we're
Okay.
near the end. Let me just double check. Okay, this is just an overall of all the places we've been looking at. And we didn't talk about Cuba, but I'm really drawn to Cuba. So at some point I would like to go into that.
Yeah, we didn't go into Mexico either.
Yeah. And I mean, America, obviously, there's loads of places in America that we're linked to. And Alaska, we looked at a little bit, but there's so much.
We didn't go into Iraq either.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just all the United Emirates states, I'm really drawn to
Mm.
as well. But I'm just going to stop sharing.
Okay.
So that was brilliant. Thank you. Um,
Hmm.
there's a lot of places that we've covered there in a very short amount of time. Anything else that you wanted to mention before we finish?
I don't know. Let's see. I don't know much more on this subject. I mean, there are a lot of sites we didn't go into yet.
Yeah.
So,
So hopefully we'll do
uh,
another video. Um,
yeah.
and I'm actively, again, I can start memory mining, so I'm going to actively tune in and do some good work and see what other bases I can uncover, because I already uncovered 3 new bases in the last 2 weeks, one in the UK, two in Russia, that I've had confirmation on with Sean Bond, and another asset as well. So hopefully we'll get more clarity coming through and not too much targeting.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's the dream.
Yes. Awesome. Would you like to tell
Okay.
people how they can find you?
Yeah, I do have a YouTube channel, which I'm not promoting much right now. I'm trying to get off of YouTube. I am mostly promoting my Substack, which is where I have my video library. The minute that I have one subscriber more on my Substack than on YouTube, I'm basically abandoning YouTube. So, uh, yeah, guys, subscribe to my Substack if you know what's good for you. Um,
You're watching John Whitberg on Basis TV. You can find his videos on YouTube, Substack, and the Internet Archive.
if you believe in my work, I have a PayPal. I have written a book. I have all 4 volumes. I'll link you the specific Substack post that has the audiobooks of them. Or no, there's 2 Substack posts, but anyway.
Yeah.
And there's also PDFs of them available uh, for free completely. I have I don't charge for education, guys, and so you have no choice, you losers. Um,
So I can't
Anyway,
stress enough how valuable your content is and how much it's helped me in the last 6 months and how supportive you've been. And yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Because
yeah.
my mind's developed massively, and I've been able to tune into bases and artifacts and so much just reading your books. Plus, I was able to mourn a version of my brother that passed away, and discover why particular methods of torture are my favourite and things like that, which is very sad and sick. But I got great
Well, you
closure from
know,
the books. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm. Okay, yeah, so I'll put your links below, and hopefully we'll get to do another one soon.
Okay. All right.